Have you gone to the police now with information that you've uncovered in your own investigation? Are they now looking in a different area?
Oh, in the beginning, I was with the detectives right there with them, and I wanted the surveillance camera. I wanted to know everything and everyone who came in and out of that house, and they said, once we get everything done, we will let you know. All of a sudden, that's eradicated. They erase it, but leave just the first 3 or 4 minutes there.
On the subject of the trial, of the situation your brother found him in, on two separate occasions with accusations of molestation, you held a news conference, I think it was in Tel Aviv, back in 1993, and you said some pretty important things. You said, quote, "I can no longer be a silent collaborator of his crimes against small, innocent children."
Absolutely.
You now say that you were forced to say that by your former husband, Jack Gordon. How could he force you to say something so damning about your brother?
Matt, when you're in a relationship where you're being abused and you're very controlling, he controlled everything I did, everything that went on in my life. He was working with a group of people that were working with my brother at the time, which, in fact, I didn't know. I wasn't privy to that. I wasn't privy to watch television. I knew nothing was going on. When I went on television and said my brother was wonderful, he would never do anything like that, he hated that. The next day, you get on, went to Tel Aviv. He said I was going on a vacation, and I thought that there was an award show. We drove up all these cameras, and people were there, and they were there for me. I didn't know.
So you've had a complete change of heart in terms of your brother's situation with molestation?
Never had a change of heart. I always knew that he never did that, and that's one thing that Michael and I discussed and talked about, because I had to speak to him about that. And he says, LaToya, you don't have to mention that. I know you. I know your heart. I know you would never say anything. I know he was making you do this. Michael knew more than I thought. He would call me and tell me to get away from him, that Gordon's going to murder you, I promise you. I said, but Michael, he's not. What I want to say, he would tell me if I didn't do what he wanted me to do or say, he was going to kill Michael.
You have also in the past made comments about your father, Joe, accusing him of molesting you and other forms of child abuse. And now you say, quote, "No other man, alive or dead, has done anything like what Joseph did for his family, and I thank him for that." So is this a contradiction?
No, it is not. I thank my father. My father did a wonderful job of raising all of us. And I have to tell you that when you're young, you see things differently than when you get older. When you get older and you have children and you're used to your nieces and nephews, you understand why your father disciplined you the way he did. You understand. Back then, parents beat their children back then. They don't do that today. If you do it today, you're going to jail.
But you stand by the comments you made about molestation and child abuse.
My father is a very wonderful man, Matt. I have to tell you something. And my father's getting older. I love him with all my heart. Michael loved my father at the end of the day. People are showing footage of Michael speaking about my father the way he thought many years ago. But at the end of Michael's life, he called my father several times, wanted him there. He even told his children, call Grandpa. He will help me get out of this situation.
I'm out of time, but I just want to make sure you're standing by your original statements about your dad.
My father's a wonderful person, and he always will be. He has a great heart. And yes, I do love him, and I do care for him a great deal.
LaToya Jackson. LaToya, it's good to have you here. I appreciate it. 16 minutes after the hour. The book is called Starting Over. Up next.